Hey, Pags here at MEI Studio. This week we're looking at recording on a budget with a couple of mics aimed mainly at the caster and streamer community. We're talking about the FiFine K669C and K669D this week on the Mic Locker. This video is going to involve some explaining, so bear with me for a few here. In the past, we've looked at some budget mics that were sent to us to test drive in a studio environment, just like this one. While none of them performed poorly, the price points on those were still in the same realm of the entry-level pro market. I set that number around 100 USD, which will get you either a Shure SM57 or 58, which by all counts is a professional level product. Others may set that bar even higher, but honestly, is cost the final say in the quality, both physically and audibly, of a microphone? I mean, I can point to a whole host of mics I feel are not worth what retailers are charging for them. It's no longer the 1960s or 70s, and getting your hands on a mic that sounds pretty good is way more in the reach for the masses than it's ever been. That's not to say that there isn't total garbage out there either. Let's take Bronson over at Audio Hotline's recent Break It or Buy It episode. I'm going to link to that up top. It was great. He looked at the Neewer NW700 and NW800, which are bargain basement mics, and came to the same conclusion as just about everyone else. Those mics belong in their own special level of the audio junkyard. And not to knock Neewer, they do make some decent products. In fact, I'm actually using a couple of them right now. So it begs the question that limbo enthusiasts have been asking for decades. How low can you go? While recording an episode of my upcoming podcast, The Patch Bay, my co-host Mikhail and I were pondering this very question. It was there we came up with the idea of a challenge to record a band using only budget quality equipment. I had heard about this company FiFine from watching other channels like Podcastage, Audio Hotline, and of course, Obscure Mics. Shout out to Bark. And side note, yeah, I know it's spelled FiFine, but it's supposed to be pronounced fine. I think the little happy face thing there is supposed to kind of tie the words together like a tie-in music or something. Just a guess. As we're talking about setting up this budget mic shoot, FiFine reached out to me to see if there's anything I'd like to check out for the channel. And it couldn't have been more perfect timing. I didn't own any of the mics. As I said, they're mainly aimed at the streaming and gaming community, and I already have more mics than I know what to do with, but I don't have a lot in the sub $100 territory, which is the threshold we agreed upon for the challenge. They sent over 2 mics that I received in these very small boxes, and I thought to myself, all right, here we go with another one of these Neewer type cheap mics that's going to feel like a tin can and sound a drop better than a Shure Green Bullet. Well, I was kind of surprised at the build quality, enough so that I reached out to the company rep that sent them over, asking if I could get some more info on the company to see what's up, and thought, why not do a quick video on these guys? New company, and hey, I love a backstory. The parent company for FiFine is Chaojing Heijia Electronics Corporation, located in Guangdong, China, an area known for manufacturing just about everything you can think of. The company was started back in 2009 producing USB mics that are very similar to what the Neewer NW700 looks like. However, instead of pumping out the same thing blindly year after year, the company took suggestions from their users and reviewers to heart and actually made changes to their product line based on that feedback. And honestly, that's a company that I could get behind. By 2015, the company was putting mics out around the world via companies like Alibaba, Amazon, and Walmart of all places. Since 2015, the product line has grown from microphones to all sorts of audio-related gear, including headphones, interfaces, boom arms, and speakers. The company employs between 1 and 200 people currently between their manufacturing staff, QC, sales, and other office positions. In addition, they seem to actually do real-world testing on their products before they go out, which is nice to see, especially given how inexpensive their products tend to be. During the pandemic, a veritable explosion of cheap microphones were flooding the market for everyone stuck at home that was looking to up their sound game for Zoom calls, Teams meetings, vlogging, streaming, and everything else that could be done from the comfort of one's bedroom. FiFine's products seem to eke out the competition, allowing them to gain a foothold in larger markets around the world, namely in North America. This boost allowed the company to branch out into different product lines that were at a price point that just about anyone could afford, and all done with a marketing campaign made up almost entirely of online reviews like the one you're watching now. And I'll be the first to tell you that for the amount of time that it takes me to put one of these videos together, I'm certainly not going to put my effort behind it if I don't think it's worth looking at. I've had other companies reach out to me with some honest-to-goodness horrible products that I flat out refuse to waste mine and your time on. On the other side of that fence, Soyuz Microphones has sent over some mics that I'll be reviewing soon, and be sure to check those out. Handmade everything, absolutely incredible. So why am I taking the time here to do this for a pair of microphones whose combined price is still less than a single SM57? Well, I think these mics might be the answer to that question, how low can you go? These mics currently retail around $35 each. $35. I have mic clips that are more than that. The price is ridiculous. I tried finding packaging for a product I invented a few years back, and $35 would have just covered the boxes and foam for the thing. The two variants here are the K669C condenser and the K669D dynamic. They're both cardioid pickup patterns. The K669C is an electret style capsule and does require phantom power to operate, regardless of whatever you've read online that says you can just hook it directly to your sound card. No. There are no controls or switches on the mics, and I did bring that up to the rep because, hey, it might be nice to have a pad on there for some louder sources. These mics do have a decent sensitivity of -43 dB for the condenser and -50 dB for the dynamic. For comparison, an SM58 has a sensitivity of -56 dB. Both mics ship with some documents and a tiny tripod, which is essentially useless for my purposes, but for someone putting them up on a desk for meetings, it might work just fine. I'll try not to do that again, sorry. No cable is included with either, and they do require an XLR cable. The company does make a USB version of the K669, but from what I've seen and heard, it's quite different sounding than these. Both mics are heavy for their size, and that's one of the things that originally surprised me. The metalwork is really solid and well finished. There's no sharp edges, and the windscreens have barely any give to them. The clip that's included fits the mic perfectly, and they're able to be threaded onto a 5/8 or 3/8 stand without the need for any kind of an adapter. They look nice, they're priced nice, but honestly, what really counts, how do they sound? We're going to take them into the studio and put them up on some usual suspects, and then we're going to try something new. A friend of the studio, Taylor Thomas Lane, is going to see how far these mics can get a young college singer-songwriter that's on a budget. We're going to see how well these mics work together and how good or bad the rejection is recording an acoustic guitar and vocals at the same time, which it's not always an easy task if you've ever tried to do that. We'll hear them raw, soloed, and then in the context of a mix. Let's get to it.
The day I've dreaded has finally come. Trying to find the words to say, but you make my brain numb. I wonder, should I let you know, or should I just let you go? Leaving town, but my love won't back down. Lot of days, many hours, and so many minutes. I count the seconds down till you come back home. Till you come back home. Till you come back home. Why climb the highest mountains or swim the deepest oceans? If I could fly my way to you. Lot of days, many hours, and so many minutes, yeah. I count the seconds down till you come back home. Till you come back home. Will you come back home? Will you come back home? Will you come back home?
Okay, $35 each. For the acoustic and singing demo, we were running this through an old Behringer 2-channel USB interface from like 12 years ago. Little mix magic, honestly, I don't think this sounds bad at all. And to be completely honest, the separation between the mics is probably just as good as I'd get from using figure 8 pattern mics, which is pretty incredible. Are these things going to be something I'd grab for in a session in the studio? Probably not, considering what's in my locker at the moment, but for someone just starting out, looking to get some recording done on a really tight budget, I'm going to say you're going to be hard-pressed to find anything else in this price range, and honestly, the sound quality really is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. And so, if that sounds like you and you'd like to get your hands on one of these mics, I'm going to be giving these guys away as soon as our SDC giveaway is complete. I'll post in the community tab sometime after New Year's Day. If you have a spare $35 burning a hole in your pocket, though, from the holidays and you want them now, there should be a couple of links to the mics in the description where you can pick them up. As always, if you've gotten anything from today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're interested in studio mics and other things audio related, hit that notify button so you'll be notified when we put up a new video. If you have any suggestions for a video or any questions regarding this one, again, please use that comment section or send us a message through the website. I'd love to hear from you. And I've been getting quite a bit of messages from the website recently. Well, that's it for this time. This is Pags signing off.